Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to explore ideas that can really shift how you connect with your audience. And today, we're diving into something pretty powerful. How to build a customer language bank that sells for you. Have you ever had that feeling? Like your marketing copy, your emails, your website, they just aren't hitting home. You put all this effort in crafting the message, but it feels like you're maybe talking at people, not really with them.
That disconnect is so common, and often it really boils down to language. Are you actually speaking their language? Because when your marketing uses a customer's exact words, something shifts, right? It stops feeling like selling,
It starts feeling
like
wrong.
a genuine solution, like you're reading their mind almost. That authentic language, it just cuts through all the usual skepticism.
Ah, okay. So it builds an immediate connection.
Exactly. A really powerful connection that, generic marketing jargon just can't replicate. It changes the whole dynamic from being sold to feeling understood.
Feeling understood, that's huge. Okay, so today we're going to unpack a system, right? A way to collect, organize, and then actually use this authentic customer language.
Yeah, the goal is to make your content more persuasive instantly
Yeah.
and definitely less salesy.
Right. So this customer language bank idea sounds great, but where do you even start? How do we prepare the groundwork, the research?
Good question. The absolute first step is setting clear research objectives. You have to know exactly what you want to learn.
Okay, like what specifically?
Well, think about the specific pain points driving them. What problems are they actually trying to solve when they look for something like your offer?
And the words they use for those problems.
Precisely, their exact words. Also, what outcomes are they really dreaming of? What does success look like to them? And don't forget objections. What stops them or almost stops them from buying? What are those hesitations?
So it's digging deeper than just surface level stuff, getting to the why.
That's it. The why behind the what. That's
Yeah.
where the gold is.
Okay, makes sense. So once we know what we're looking for, the pains, hopes, fears, the language,
Yeah.
how do we actually find it? What methods work best?
Right. Next, you choose your research methods. You want to mix, really, something for qualitative depth, the why, and maybe something for quantitative breadth, the how many.
So what are the options?
One-on-one interviews are fantastic for that deep insight, for really understanding motivations.
Okay.
Then you have things like surveys, which are good for seeing patterns across a larger group. Support tickets, honestly, a gold mine for raw pain points.
Oh, interesting. Hadn't thought of that as research.
Definitely. And social listening, too, seeing what people say when they think no one's listening.
Mm.
Even web analytics can show behavior patterns.
Lots of options. If someone's just starting out, what's manageable?
My advice? Keep it simple. Start with maybe just 3 to 5 really good one-on-one interviews.
Just 3 to 5.
Yeah, seriously. Combine that with maybe one other method you already have access to, like sifting through support tickets or looking at social media comments. Even that small start gives you powerful stuff to work with.
Interviews really sound like the core for getting that rich language, though. How do we make sure we ask the right things to get them, really talking?
That's where your interview guide comes in. You need to craft good, open-ended questions. Questions that invite stories, not just yes-no answers.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like, what was the specific problem that first led you to look for a solution like ours? Or how would you actually describe that problem if you were talking to a friend?
The friend question is good. More natural language.
Exactly. And critically, always, always ask why as a follow-up. Why was that frustrating? Why was that important? That gets you to the emotional core.
Okay, got it. And then we have all these potential conversations, all these potential words. How do we actually capture it all effectively?
You need a simple recording and tracking system. For interviews, definitely use a recording app, but always get permission first. That's crucial.
Ethics first, right?
Absolutely. Then set up a simple spreadsheet. Seriously, a spreadsheet works fine. Columns for source like interview or support ticket, date, customer segment if you know it,
And the quote itself.
the verbatim quote exactly as they said it. Then a column for the theme like pain point, desired outcome, objection, and maybe one for potential content. Use homepage headline, FAQ.
That sounds organized. A way to make sense of it later.
It's key. Otherwise, it just becomes a pile of notes. This structure makes it actionable.
Okay, framework is set. Objectives, methods, guide, capture system. Now let's get into actually doing it, those deep dive interviews. How do we even find people willing to talk?
Recruiting participants can actually be simpler than you think. Often just sending a polite email to your customer list works well.
Just ask them.
Yeah. Maybe offer a small incentive that makes sense for your business. A gift card, a discount, early access to something.
Yeah.
People are often happy to share their thoughts if you ask nicely.
And who should we target? Anyone.
Well, aim for diverse segments. Don't just talk to your superfans. Talk to new customers, long-term ones, maybe people who use your product differently, high-value clients, even some who churned, if possible. Variety gives you the full picture.
Right, richer insights. Okay, so we've managed to get someone on a call. They're ready to talk. How do we run that interview effectively to get the good stuff?
First, spend a minute just building rapport. Make them feel comfortable. Then, the most important rule, listen way more than you talk.
Yeah.
Seriously, aim for like an 80-20 split. You're there to hear them.
Let them lead.
Pretty much. Your main job is to capture their exact phrasing. Don't tidy it up in your head. Don't paraphrase on the fly. Get the raw words.
Even the ums and ahs.
Well, maybe not transcribe those, but capture the core phrases precisely. And pay attention to emotional emphasis. When does their voice change? Do they speed up, slow down, lean in? That tells you what really matters to them.
You mentioned getting stories, not just opinions. How do we prompt that?
Exactly. Instead of, what do you think? Ask things like, can you walk me through the moment you realized you needed a fix for this? Or tell me about the day you actually decided to buy sign up.
Narrative questions.
Yes, and probe for specifics. If they say something was frustrating or difficult, ask what specifically was frustrating about that. Don't let generic terms slide.
Okay. And you mentioned metaphors earlier.
Yeah, listen for those. When people use metaphors like, I was drowning in spreadsheets, or it felt like hitting a brick wall, that often signals a deep emotional connection. Those are goals for copywriting.
Okay, so as we're listening, capturing exact phrases, looking for emotion, asking for stories, what specific types of language should we be listening hardest for?
Good question. There are about 5 key types you really want to capture.
5 types, okay?
1, problem language. How they talk about their struggles before they found a solution, the pain. 2, aspiration language. What does success actually look like for them? What are they hoping to achieve? Their dreams, the desired outcomes. 3, objection language. What almost stopped them from buying? What were those hurdles or hesitations they had to overcome?
Okay. Problems, aspirations, objections. What else?
4, value language. Not the features, but the benefits they've genuinely experienced. How has it actually made their life or work better, in their words? And 5, identity language. How do they see themselves now, or how do they want to see themselves in relation to this problem or solution? Like, I'm the kind of person who...
Wow. Okay. Problem, aspiration, objection, value, identity. Can you give a quick example of how those might show up together?
Sure. Imagine a fitness app user says something like, I was so tired of starting over every single Monday, problem language. I just wanted something that wouldn't make me feel like a failure again. Aspiration, identity. I wasn't sure if I'd stick with it. Objection, but now I actually feel like someone who enjoys healthy habits. Value, identity.
Got it. That one sentence hits almost all of them. Powerful.
Exactly. One quote could be incredibly rich.
So interviews give us that amazing depth, but you mentioned needing breadth too, right? To validate things. What other sources should we be tapping into?
Absolutely. You need to supplement with broader data. Interviews are crucial, but you need more volume sometimes.
Like surveys.
Surveys can work, yes, but keep them short. Maybe 5 to 7 questions max, focusing on open-ended completions. Things like, before finding us, my biggest challenge was, or the main difference I've noticed since using us is, get them to finish the sentence in their own words.
Okay, open-ended survey questions. Good tip.
But honestly, don't forget the goldmine you likely already have. Your existing resources.
Like what?
Your support tickets, your customer reviews on sites like G2 or Capterra, social media comments on your posts, sales call notes, even live chat transcripts.
Wow, okay, that stuff is just sitting there.
It really is. Just schedule like 30 minutes a week, maybe Friday afternoon, to quickly scan through these sources, pull out any noteworthy phrases or recurring themes, and pop them into your language bank spreadsheet.
That makes it feel more manageable. Little and often.
Exactly. And then there's social listening. Actively monitor conversations happening elsewhere.
Like where people talk about the industry, not just us specifically.
Precisely. Industry Facebook groups, relevant subreddits, forums. What language do people use when they're talking about the problems your product solves, even if they don't know you exist? It's unfiltered, organic language.
Can you give an example of finding something useful there?
Yeah, I know a graphic design tool company. They were monitoring forums and kept seeing people say they wanted designs that looked professional, but without the steep learning curve. That phrase, professional looking without the learning curve, wasn't something the company was using, but it perfectly captured a core desire. They started using it, and boom, resonance went way up.
Wow. Listening beyond your own walls. Okay. So we've done interviews, maybe surveys, mined our support tickets, listened socially. We've gathered all this stuff. How do we wrangle it? How do we turn this collection of quotes into a usable bank?
Right, this is the crucial organize and categorize phase. This turns your raw collection into that powerful customer language bank.
So structure, we talked about the spreadsheet columns. Source, date, quote, theme, segment, use. How do we use those tags effectively?
First, if you have interview recordings, get them transcribed. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get the words down. Then break down longer responses into individual meaningful phrases or sentences.
Okay, chunk it down.
Yeah. Then for each chunk, each quote, you tag it. Use those categories consistently. Tag it by customer journey stage. Was this person in the awareness phase, talking about the problem, consideration, comparing options, decision, overcoming objections, or maybe even retention, talking about ongoing value?
Journey stage. Okay. What else?
What? Tag by theme. Is it a pain point? A desired outcome? An objection? A description of value? An emotion? Maybe it relates to their identity.
It's the 5 types we discussed earlier.
Exactly. And if you can, tag by customer segment. Was this a small business owner, an enterprise user, a beginner? This helps you see if different segments talk differently.
So a quote like, I was drowning in spreadsheets.
Right. That can be tagged. Source, interview, stage, awareness, theme, pain point, segment, small business owner, notes, strong metaphor, drowning. See how that adds layers of context.
Yeah, that makes it much more searchable and useful later. Okay, it's organized, tagged. How do we turn that structured data into actual marketing insights?
Now you identify patterns and priorities. You start looking across all your entries. What phrases keep popping up again and again across different sources?
The recurring themes.
Exactly. Note the ones with strong emotional language. Where's the real energy? Also, look for language gaps. Are there ways customers describe their problems or desired outcomes that are totally different from how you talk about them in your current marketing?
Ah, the disconnect we started with.
Precisely. Then, create a sort of greatest hits list, maybe the top 10 or 15 most powerful, recurring, emotionally resonant phrases. These are your high priority nuggets.
And a key question here might be,
A really practical exercise is, look at a major page on your website, like your homepage. Can you pull 3 to 5 phrases directly from your language bank that could replace or seriously improve the headlines, subheads, or benefit descriptions you have right now?
that makes it really concrete, applying it directly. Okay, this definitely sounds like something that needs to be kept up to date.
Oh, absolutely. It has to be a living document, not a one-off project you do and forget.
How do we make sure it stays alive?
Pick a tool that works for your team, a shared spreadsheet, maybe a simple database or knowledge-based tool. Set up regular, short review sessions, maybe 30 minutes every month, just to add new language gleaned from recent support interactions or sales calls.
And share it.
Crucially, yes, give access to everyone who creates customer-facing content marketing, sales, support, product teams. This needs to be a shared resource. That monthly 30-minute sync keeps it fresh and top of mind.
Okay, now for the really exciting part. We have this amazing, organized, living bank of customer language. How do we actually use it to write copy that converts?
This is the language mirroring technique, and it's simpler, yet more powerful than it sounds.
Language mirroring. Okay.
Instead of starting with a blank page and trying to invent clever marketing phrases, you start with the customer phrases you've collected.
So you literally lift their words.
You start there. You maintain the core authenticity, the essence of their language. You might need to polish it slightly for clarity or flow, but you don't sanitize it or translate it back into marketing jargon.
Keep the original voice.
Keep the voice, keep the core message.
Yeah.
The magic is that because it's their language, it has cognitive fluency. It slips into their brain easily because it matches how they already think and talk about it.
Can you give a before and after example?
Sure. So before, maybe you wrote, our innovative platform streamlines business communications. Standard stuff, right?
Yeah, it sounds like typical marketing speak.
After using language mirroring from customer interviews, you might write, finally stop the endless email chains eating up your workday. See the difference? It's specific, visual, and uses language, endless email chains eating up your workday, that likely came directly from a customer.
Much more relatable. Another one.
Okay, fitness example. Before, our fitness program helps you achieve your goals. Very generic. After, pulling from that quote earlier, For when you're tired of starting over every Monday and want to finally feel consistent with your workouts.
Hits the pain point and the aspiration directly using their likely words. I get it.
That's the core idea. Start with them, not you.
So we take this mirrored language and sprinkle it everywhere.
Not just sprinkle, integrate it deeply. Apply customer language across all your marketing assets.
All of them.
Think about it. Your headlines and subheads, perfect place for direct quotes about problems and desired outcomes. Your main website, copy structure the flow around the language associated with different journey stages.
Okay.
Your benefit sections ditch the feature list and use the exact words customers use to describe the value they get. Even your FAQs frame the questions exactly how customers ask them, using their terminology. Every touch point is a chance to mirror.
What about objections? Those reasons people don't buy. Can we use customer language there too?
Yes, absolutely. It's incredibly powerful for addressing objections preemptively.
How does that work?
First, identify the top 2 or 3 objections you consistently hear or see in your research. Then go back to your language bank and find quotes from customers who had that same objection but ultimately bought and were happy.
Find the success stories for that specific concern.
Exactly. Then you weave that language into your copy. For example, if price is a common objection, instead of just saying it's great value, you might use a customer quote like, "Honestly, I was hesitant about the price at first until I figured out I was spending more on coffee each month than on this tool, and this thing gives me back like 10 hours every single week."
Using a relatable comparison they made themselves. That feels much more convincing.
It builds trust and shows you understand their hesitation because you're reflecting the journey someone just like them went through.
Makes total sense. And naturally, after implementing all this, we need to know if it's actually working, right?
Of course, you absolutely must test and refine. This isn't about guessing, it's about validating.
So, A/B testing.
Definitely. Create A/B tests comparing your original copy against your new customer language-driven copy. Test headlines, body copy, calls to action.
What metrics should we look at?
Don't just look at clicks. Look at engagement time on page, scroll depth, and most importantly, look at conversion rates, signups, demo requests, purchases, whatever your key goal is.
And keep iterating.
Yes. Gather feedback, see what resonates, and keep refining based on the data. Ask yourself, could you take your highest traffic landing page right now, create a version using only language pulled from your bank, and run a test for, say, 2 weeks? See what happens.
That's a clear challenge. Okay, this all sounds fantastic, like a really solid framework. But what about roadblocks? What if people listening run into challenges? Like, what if they have a really small customer base to draw from?
That's a really common and valid concern. If you have a small customer base, you just need to broaden your research net a bit.
How so?
Talk to potential customers in your target market, even if they haven't bought yet. Look at users of competitor products. What are they saying in reviews or forums?
Okay, look beyond current customers.
Yes, and talk to your own team. Your sales folks, your support team, they talk to customers and potential customers all day long. They also have a great sense of the language being used. Remember, even just 3 to 5 good, in-depth conversations give you a starting point that's way better than nothing.
What about finding the time? Everyone's busy.
Totally understand that. The key is starting small. Don't feel like you need to boil the ocean overnight. Schedule just one 20-minute interview this week. Or block 15 minutes on Friday just to scan support tickets.
Consistency over intensity.
Exactly. Small, consistent effort builds the bank over time. Limited research is infinitely better than zero research.
Let's make this really concrete. Can you share a real-world example, a case study perhaps, where this really moved the needle?
Absolutely. There was a SaaS startup I know of, serving digital marketers. They had a pretty typical problem. High bounce rates on their homepage. People were landing there and leaving quickly.
Why?
Their copy was very jargon-heavy, very feature-focused. It talked about the product, but not to the visitor in language they recognized or cared about.
So what did they do?
They followed this exact process. They conducted about 8 customer interviews. They dug into over 50 recent support tickets. They built their language bank spreadsheet, tagged everything,
And then rewrote the homepage.
completely rewrote the core messaging on the homepage using verbatim phrases and the dominant themes they uncovered.
And the results.
Pretty dramatic, actually. Their homepage bounce rate dropped by 38%.
Wow, 38%.
Yeah, demo requests went up by 42%. And maybe most importantly, their overall customer acquisition cost went down by 23%.
This significant business impact just from changing the words.
It wasn't just changing the words, though. It was changing the perspective. shifting from an internal company-centric view to an external customer-centric view, reflected in the language. That was the real unlock.
Can you recall how their headline changed? You mentioned jargon before.
Oh yeah, the original was something like enterprise-grade analytics for digital marketing teams. Very descriptive, but dry.
And the new one, based on customer language.
It became stop drowning in data and start making decisions that actually drive revenue.
Stop drowning in data. That's the metaphor.
Directly from a customer interview. Instantly relatable, addresses the pain, points to the desired outcome. Huge difference.
That really illustrates the power. Okay, so for everyone listening who's feeling inspired and wants to get started right now, what's a practical, step-by-step action plan?
Okay, let's break it down. This week, just schedule one conversation. Find one customer, one prospect, maybe even a colleague from sales or support, and have a 20-30-minute chat using some open-ended questions. Record it with permission.
Okay, one conversation this week. Doable.
Within 14 days, set up your basic language collection spreadsheet, those columns we talked about. Transcribe that first conversation, pull out some key quotes and start tagging them. Add anything you find from a quick scan of support tickets or reviews. Just get it started.
Start populating the bank.
Within 30 days, pick one single important marketing asset. Maybe your homepage headline and intro paragraph, maybe your main product page. Rewrite just that one piece using the language you've started collecting.
Test it out on something real.
Exactly. And then ongoing. Make it a habit. Schedule those short monthly maintenance sessions to add new language. Start thinking about A/B testing. Keep conducting maybe a couple of new interviews each quarter. Keep the bank alive and growing.
That feels like a really manageable path forward. This has been an incredible deep dive. It really crystallizes how knowing your audience's language transforms selling, doesn't it? It becomes less about pushing and more about serving.
That's precisely it. You're not trying to persuade with cleverness. You're connecting by reflecting their reality. Your words match the conversation already happening in their head.
And that's inherently more persuasive.
Naturally persuasive because it feels true to them. It shifts marketing from guesswork and assumptions to really precise communication. Almost like mind reading, but it's just good listening.
So for everyone listening, what this means is you're building an asset, right? A renewable resource that keeps your marketing constantly relevant, fresh, and effective without feeling like you're resorting to hype or pressure.
It's about building deep trust, fundamentally. Showing you get them because you speak like them. And remember, this isn't a quick fix you do once. It's an ongoing practice, a commitment. Language changes, markets shift, new pains emerge. You have to keep listening.
Keep that ear to the ground.
Always. Your challenge really is to embrace this continuous exploration of how your customers truly talk and think.
We really encourage you to start building your own customer language bank, even starting small, as we discussed. See the impact it has. Your marketing, your website, your emails, they'll start sounding different.
They'll sound less like you and more like your customers.
And ultimately, that's probably the most powerful, most authentic voice you can possibly adopt.